What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to EX News here at NeoVintage Games, where every week or so, as much as we possibly can, we like to kind of get together and kind of just talk about all the news going on in the fighting game community, since I'm so rooted into that community. So we have a variety of different kind of news, some exciting, some not so exciting, some just screenshots. So let's talk about it. So the first one on the docket here, Capcom Cup February 2021 event has been canceled. Now, they released an official statement. This comes as of Capcom Fighters on Twitter, their verified account, and they said, due to the rising cases of COVID-19 worldwide, we have made the difficult decision to cancel the Capcom Cup. In its place, we will be producing an online season finale, final for Capcom Pro Tour, February 20th and 21st, and the details followed below. Now, obviously, this is not too surprising. This is not going to be the first event that we see canceled this year. I know last year pretty much every event was canceled, from E3 to Comic-Con to the Capcom Pro Tour. All these events were canceled. It'll be very surprising if we see any of them in its original state now coming in 2021. I highly doubt it, due to the way that COVID still is affecting everyone worldwide. So as much as this sucks, it's still, everyone's health and safety should come first, and I'm glad Capcom is kind of getting it out the way. And obviously the planned event was for the 19th and the 21st, so right around the corner, and COVID-19, the pandemic, is nowhere near where we want it to be or hoped it would be by this point. Second on the news, we have Mortal Kombat, the 2021 live action movie screenshots. So we've known about this movie for a while. We know it's coming to HBO in April, and we knew it was finished filming, and we know some of the cast, and that was really it. We didn't know the tone of it. We didn't really know what some of these people looked like in makeup and outfits and stuff like that, and finally we have the first screenshots of it. So it's exciting that it doesn't look terrible, but it's, it's weird. Not even just fighting games, but games in general, when they usually do that jump to the big silver screen, it's not the greatest, but the themes and everything seems to be really there. They're having an emphasis on the blood, the fighting, the gore, the fatalities. So it's really exciting. You're going to see a variety of people in the screenshots. We have Liu Kang, Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Sonya Blade, Kano, Jax, Raiden, obviously Kung Lao. It's exciting to see them in there. It looks good, the vibe feels good, but anything can look good in a screenshot, which is kind of my worry. But I didn't want to bring it up because obviously this goes hand in hand with Mortal Kombat. It is Mortal Kombat, a finally live action reboot. I would prefer the series. It would have worked better that way, but they're going for that. It'll be on HBO Max this April. Now, huge amounts of King of Fighters news in general. So King of Fighters 15 has shown a big gameplay trailer. They have a specific one showing the lead protagonist, Shuni. I never know how to pronounce his name. So we have lots of gameplays, lots of movesets. I think, just in my personal opinion, it looks really good. It looks fantastic to see some of this stuff in a new graphics engine. This is their new engine that they're really hoping helps demonstrates all the artistic and style that they want to progress in the game. So you're going to get it, the first time we see this game in 4K, hopefully natively. So it's going to be really exciting to see that. They've shown off some, other characters, some stages and stuff like that, and I think it looks really good. I've been dabbling more in King of Fighters 14 and some of the older ones as well to kind of familiarize myself, and I'm not sure why this game has kind of been under my radar as a fighting game fan. I've been playing fighting games since I was little, since I could ever remember. And this one has just always been kind of the one I couldn't get to. I get the anthology on PS2 and stuff like that and throughout the years, but luckily it's here, and I'm hoping to be able to jump in on this one from the get-go, right from launch, and to be able to get in there. But in addition to that, we have a King of Fighters 15 anime short being developed. So the Fatal Fury, the motion picture, the 1994, is a cult classic and easily one of the best fighting game anime adaptations ever made. One of the most memorable aspects of the film is the incredible art direction made possible by legendary Japanese anime director Masami Obari. During the King of Fighters 15 reveal last week, which was at the time of this writing, they announced that they will be returning to the SNK universe to direct a King of Fighters 15 anime short, coinciding with the release of the newest King of Fighters installment. They haven't really said too much about it, if it's going to be prequel, if it's going to be sort of as the game story goes, especially when it's hard for fighting games that have so many characters and stuff like that. But it's exciting that they're going to really treat it as a big release. King of Fighters, I think in general, has always been kind of not hitting the strides that it should here. So I'm excited that they're not only full focusing on the new game, they're gonna open that lore, which helps, which is really fantastic and really exciting. Next on the list, BlazBlue Alternative Dark War. Unfortunately, it is not a new BlazBlue fighting game. It is what they're calling a legitimate sequel coming to smartphone, and it's going to be an RPG. Coming in 2021 now. It's a little weird. It's a little unfortunate because BlazBlue's been kind of gone for a little bit. As soon as I saw it was a legitimate sequel as an RPG, it reminded me a lot of how Persona is treating Persona 5 Scramble as a sequel to Persona 5 and Persona 5 Royal. So it's even in the trailer where it says Persona 5 2 and they scratch it with an S, this reminded me of that. Obviously, as soon as you start saying smartphone, mobile gaming, it's going to be a little rough because not only are you taking a fighting game and you're going to be adding loot. You're going to, there is one screenshot you see that you can obviously, it's going to be loot based, signing in based and all that kind of stuff. Unless I'm wrong. I mean, the artwork looks great and stuff like that, but it's kind of disappointing, especially since it's going to be this kind of mobile game, probably full of gacha nonsense. But unfortunately, that is what it is. So if you're holding out for more BlazBlue, you may have to wait a little bit more. One thing you will have to not wait too long for. So during CES 2021, Arcade1Up unveils 2 new cabinets. Now they released the Killer Instinct Rare Collection, which will the Rare Legacy, which will contain the first Killer Instinct, the second Killer Instinct, Battletoads, and Battletoads / Double Dragon, which is going to be pretty exciting because especially Battletoads / Double Dragon is a really fun game. Difficult game. I'm not sure if many people even played it because it is hard to, find. But now the one I'm more excited for is the Capcom Legacy cabinet, even though they're all a majority of is just Street Fighter 2. So we have Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition, Street Fighter 2 Turbo, Super Street Fighter 2, and Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. Just still ridiculous even after all these years. You still then get Darkstalkers, Final Fight, Strider, Commando, 1944, Loop Master, and Ghost and Goblins, which is really exciting. The mock-ups of the cabinets look great. Their designs aren't final yet, and as much as I'd love to get into these Arcade1Ups, just pricing it's definitely a luxurious item. You got to buy the base to even be able to play it, so it's not sitting on the floor, and it's just a lot of work to just probably use it a few times and then kind of just have it as furniture, more or less. So if we're talking, but if you have the space, if you have a basement that you'd like to hook up, that would look nice. Now, Street Fighter 5 Champion Edition. We talked about last time how some of the DLC has been delayed and Dan has been delayed, but that's not stopping the cosmetic stuff, which they're doing a sort of Fighting EX layer cross Street Fighter 5 crossover costume stuff. We've got Skullmania, which I missed between recording one of these, but now we also have the Akuma and Garuda crossover costume, so it's going to be exciting. They should be out by now. I believe this was going to be January 12th, so at time of recording this, it's been a week since, and it looks great. It looks actually really good. It makes me wonder why Fighting EX Layer hasn't revamped a new season or revamped its gameplay a little bit and done like a sequel or anything, but it's great to see the nod because Fighting EX Layer spawned from Street Fighter EX, so to have it kind of go full circle and have some of these costumes debut again in Street Fighter, it's fantastic. It's actually really, really fun, and it's nice to see that kind of go full circle. Now, some new stories that came out, some canceled projects. Capcom vs. SNK3 was in development. Let's go right to it. So shortly, this comes from Hideki Itsuno, which is the Capcom vs. SNK2 director. Shortly after we finished Capcom vs. SNK2, we started working on a 3D version of Capcom vs. SNK3 for the PS2. Capcom vs. SNK3 was meant to be the last 2D fighting game, but when it ended up becoming a 3D game along the way, and then SNK folded and that project got canceled. So unfortunately, it's something we saw kind of fall to its wayside. I was always under suspicion. There's always been sort of nudges and rumors that there was a Capcom versus SNK 3 in the works, but switching to PS2 and switching to where games wanted to switch everything into 3D Architect, of course, then what happened with SNK, it was really sad. A quick bonus feature they did talk about in this, which was Capcom vs SNK and oral history. They talked about how one time when they finished King of Fighters 98, for fun they put Ryu and Ken in it just because they had the time. They don't think that version ever launched anywhere. That's probably something they did for fun, had within the company and stuff like that as an Easter egg for themselves. They said they do not believe it exists anywhere anymore. The files are obviously long gone. But what an exciting time it would have been to see them in that. And also makes me interested on what other characters, because they did mention how they even created a version that had Goku in it. I don't know how much they were just kind of joking and nudging around, having fun. But at the time, Dragon Ball was super popular. So it's, I'd love to see some of that artwork. But that's kind of the stuff that's just lost in history, unfortunately. So, but that's really awesome that they at least talk about it there. I think that's fantastic. Again, if they were to have any sort of collection they can do, very akin to what I see in like the Samurai Showdown collection that came out, that has tons of artworks and interviews and some of the best fights from pro tournaments and things like that. I think that's where it'd be nice to at least show artwork that you had stuff going on. Obviously legally stuff with Capcom and obviously people who own the Dragon Ball franchise would be interesting, but at least for fun, just to release what was there. Now the last two bits of announcement, King of Fighters 14 is getting a re-release, obviously right before King of Fighters 15 launches, I think later this year. So after postponing their King of Fighters 15 reveal yesterday, SNK uploaded a new trailer for the King of Fighters 14 Ultimate Edition, a complete version of the game with all post-launch DLC content releasing on PlayStation 4 this month. The digital version releases in Europe on January 7th, with a physical edition releasing spring 2021. The digital version hits North America January 20th, 2021. King of Fighters 14 Ultimate Edition includes the 8 DLC characters and 10 DLC costumes. So there's a small little trailer which obviously just shows everything that's going on. It's exciting if you haven't had time to get into it. It kind of sucks that I did just buy it. I repurchased King of Fighters 14 not too long ago because it was on sale. And hopefully this coincides and doesn't launch as its own app. Hopefully they just kind of update King of Fighters and then I can get the upgrade, ultimate upgrade. That's what most fighting games do. I'm only missing a few of the DLC characters I did buy the deluxe edition and stuff like that. But usually as it comes, the ultimate editions are usually the end to a fighting game after so long. King of Fighters 14 has been around for a while now, and it's exciting to see them. Final hats off to it. Here's the full package. Again, I wish I would have known this a little earlier, so I would have not purchased the other version. But it's there, and it's exciting to see King of Fighters kind of just really progressing. So the final news we have today is that Samurai Showdown, which I was worried was kind of waning, people don't talk about it too much. It is, they have revealed some more DLC characters coming in for Season 3. They have Cham Cham and Hibiki Takani with 2 other characters to come. This game I can't wait to really get back into. I don't know what I'm waiting for. The style is there. I heard the characters there. They revamped a lot of it. It's just gotten so much better since its launch. And I mean, they look great. You have Indian with, a style Catwoman with a giant boomerang. It's really awesome. I can't wait to get this style. And I think they are releasing and doing an upgrade to an Xbox Series X version. I don't know if they're doing one from PS4 to PS5, so that's something I do have to look into. But it's pretty exciting for that. And this came alongside all the photos and work of King of Fighters 15 as well. So that's everything for this week, guys. I know it wasn't the greatest news, but I do like to kind of talk about it. It's been an interesting news. It's been something almost every day, every couple of days, there's something going on. From the Capcom cancellation to Mortal Kombat finally really revealing what it looks like, its live-action movie, King of Fighters 15 going strong, BlazBlue taking its own turn on things, arcade cabinets coming out looking fantastic, and DLC obviously is a staple for us in the fighting game community. So it's really exciting to have all this here. The only other information I kind of want to just mention is that there is a fighting game community code of conduct to combat harassment abuse. And this comes obviously on the train of what was going on in the last few years in the different communities, specifically the Smash Bros. Community last year. And I don't like to talk too much about it because it's really, really terrible and it brings horrible naming to it. But obviously there was a lot of misconduct, a lot of sexual abuse, verbal abuse, and stuff like that was going on at these conventions and at these tournaments between big Smash players and stuff like that. And that's why, Nintendo doesn't like to sanction these things, whereas Capcom likes to sort of really push for them. So, there is works, and it's a positive thing that there are works, and there are going to be starting to have more rules and conductings that are, if you're going to want an official tournament, you have to abide by these rules. People are going to have to start doing different things. Not too much has been released, but just, if you're not doing anything wrong, you'll be fine. But for the people who were really trying to take advantage and kind of taint the name of the fighting game community, you made a lot of us look bad. That Smash Brothers stuff really was terrible. But they are revamping some of the rules to keep people safe and so people can have fun with their games. So that's everything I wanted to talk about today on the EX News. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I'll catch you guys next time.